and welcome back to another Shearer Smokes. And you join me on the banks of the River Devon, just outside Dollar. And I've got my junior cameraman today, young Boyd is behind the lens, and he'll give you a quick pan around. I've got the Ocho Hills on the other side, and some cows for company as well. And yeah, so it's slightly windy this afternoon. The rain's kind of held off a little bit, which is good, so came out for a little donder today, and yeah, it's nice and breezy, but it's fine. So today's pipe is the Savinelli cocktail with the fishtail stem. It's the 614, and in the bowl is a rather interesting blend from Peterson's. Peterson's Irish Cask, and this one came to me from my good friend Al, so thanks again, Al. Really enjoying the Peterson's samples that you sent down to me, and this one's as I said, really interesting for me because just the general makeup of it. And if you allow me, I shall just into the old Shearer journal. And so the mix itself, for those if you don't know already, it's a mixture of Cavendish, Orange Virginia, there's Black Perique in there, Thailand Burley, and some Zimbabwean as well. It's a ribbon cut, and you have to be a bit careful when packing because the lengths are quite uneven, so a little bit of care taken when packing the bowl. But interestingly, it's matured in sherry oak casks or barrels, and that kind of sherry flavour does come through along with the sweetness, obviously, of the Cavendish and the Virginias. The Perique, I'm led to believe, kicks in once you get further down into the bowl, so that's going to be interesting. That's going to add a little bit of spice, I think. But already, flavour-wise, the sweetness is there. And I mean, that's there from the offset when I opened up the bag, and there's also quite a nice bit of nuttiness, and there's also, to me, a slight hint of, along with that woodiness, almost a chocolate kind of flavour coming through, which is really interesting to me. Especially having a passion for cigars, so obviously you find a lot of that in cigars: chocolateness, woodiness, a bit of nuttiness coming through. So yeah, so this is a very interesting blend, and one I know that I'm going to enjoy from time to time, and this seems to be the perfect pipe for just doing that. So as I said, we're here at the River Devon, and there was once a famous visitor to the River Devon, to Dollar itself, and that was the poet Robert Burns. And he came and stayed. He was actually staying in Stirling at the time, but travelled through to Haverston, which is a small estate just outside Dollar. He had friends there, and while staying there, he came down and visited the Devon and Dollar itself. And he did in fact write a couple of poems describing the Devon, and one which was turned into a song. And now, as we know, if you know a bit about Burns, he was a bit of a lad when it came to the ladies, and on this visit to Dollar, there was a young lady here by the name of Peggy, who actually came from his hometown of Ayr. And Burns, as I said, came to visit here in August 1787, and Peggy was already here. And Burns fell in love, and he actually proposed to her at some point, which Peggy has written about. And she actually turned him down. She ended up marrying a rich banker rather than a poet farmer. So, but Robert Burns obviously went on to marry somebody else, but his heart was always with Peggy. And it's captured in this little verse, which is now a song, entitled "The Banks of the Devon." How pleasant the banks of the clear winding Devon, with green spreading bushes and flowers blooming fair. But the bonniest flower on the banks of the Devon was once a sweet bud on the braes of Ayr. And that was a little testament towards his love for Peggy, who hailed from Ayr. There's actually a little stone cairn that commemorates his visit, and I'll just pop that picture in to let you see. Yeah, so some nice words there from the bard, Rabbie Burns. And as I look over, if Boyd just pans over to the side of the Devon, you'll just see there's a mist, a rainy mist coming in. So yeah, that's been our visit down to the River Devon, and the sun's actually just starting to appear behind the clouds again, which is quite nice during October. And I think I've picked the right tobacco today, the Irish Cask, and that's proved to be a nice choice for this kind of day, it is a bit brisk, as they say, but yeah, this is turning out to be quite an enjoyable smoke, which is nice. So we're going to sit here just a little touch longer, finish up our hot chocolate, and then head on back home. I hope you've all had a great weekend. Have a good week that's now upcoming, and hopefully I'll get out and about on my next day off, and I look forward to you joining me on that. Until then, as always, my name's Shearer. Enjoy your smokes.